Hey, what's up guys? Will here for GSM Arena. The Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra is possibly the most complete Android smartphone on the market. But what about the Google Pixel 8 Pro, the flagship from Android's very creator? How do these two compare, and could one of them be the better phone overall? Let's put them head to head and find out. The Galaxy S24 Ultra is Samsung's most premium phone so far here in 2024. Meanwhile, the Pixel 8 Pro is from last year, but it's the most recent flagship from Google. Design-wise, both of these phones are big. The Pixel has a curved back and is a little taller and thicker, and the Galaxy has a flat back and is a little wider. A more notable difference is the arrangement of the cameras. The Pixel's visor-like strip is pretty unique. The Galaxy does feature more premium materials in its build. The titanium frame and Corning Gorilla Armor are both a step up from the Pixel's aluminum frame and Gorilla Glass Victus 2. But both phones carry the same IP68 rating, so technically they should be equally well protected against dust and water ingress. A unique selling point for the Ultra is that it brings a stylus, which also happens to be water resistant. The S Pen adds another layer of productivity, and it tucks away inside of the device. The displays of the two phones are very similar. The Galaxy's is slightly larger, at 6.8 inches, and slightly sharper with a 1440p resolution. At 6.7 inches, the Pixel's display is a little smaller, but it's again an LTPO OLED display with a 120Hz refresh rate. The LTPO tech means the refresh rate is extra adaptive on either panel to save energy, and can theoretically go all the way down to 1 Hz. In our testing, the Pixel was slightly brighter than the Galaxy with adaptive brightness enabled, going up to 1600 nits, versus around 1450 on the Samsung. Neither display has Dolby Vision support, so you have to make do with HDR10 and HDR10 Plus on whichever phone you choose. Besides durability, the new Gorilla Armor glass brings another advantage to the Ultra, and that's reduced reflectivity and less glare on the screen. The Galaxy's display isn't perfect though, and it suffers from a certain graininess that can be observed at low brightness levels. The two phones have similar stereo speaker setups. The Galaxy proved louder with a very good mark compared to the Pixel's good rating. We'd also give the nod to the S24 Ultra for sound quality as well. Of course, these are both Android phones, but only with the Pixel will you get the pure stock Android experience, exactly as Google intended. With the Galaxy, you get custom software on top, Samsung's One UI 6.1. It brings aesthetic changes as well as some extra features on top of what Android has to offer. You can check out our dedicated video about One UI 6.1 if you'd like to find out more about those. In addition, both the S24 Ultra and Pixel 8 Pro have advanced AI-based features, and much of it was actually created through collaboration between Samsung and Google. Both of these phones possess smarts that are ahead of what you'd find on other Android phones. Whether one has a meaningful advantage over the other is hard to say. And both phones get the same level of software support. Google promises 7 years of updates for the latest Pixels, and so does Samsung for the S24 family. The Galaxy S24 Ultra is powered by the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, as are most high-end Android phones in 2024. Meanwhile, the Pixel 8 Pro uses Google's custom Tensor G3 chipset, which is unique to the Pixels. The Tensor G3 came out in 2023, but even at that point it was lagging behind in raw power versus the other chipsets on the market. And now, compared to the latest Snapdragon chip, the gap is even bigger. Google insists that benchmarks and brute force don't matter, and that they've optimized to use the available resources to produce the best user experience. And the Pixel does feel snappy enough. But if you do a lot of heavy gaming, the S24 Ultra might be the better choice. The two phones have almost identical battery capacities, but the Galaxy makes better use of it. It earned a higher active use score of 13 hours and 49 minutes, versus 11 hours and 14 minutes on the Pixel. And in individual battery tests, the S24 Ultra came out on top. And when it comes to wired charging, the Galaxy is again the winner. It's able to charge from 0 to 69% in half an hour, versus 53% on the Pixel. And a full charge takes 65 minutes on the Galaxy, versus the Pixel's 83 minutes. Finally, we have the cameras. The Galaxy S24 Ultra has a 200 megapixel main cam, a 10 megapixel 3x telephoto, a 50 megapixel 5x telephoto, and a 12 megapixel ultra-wide camera with autofocus. The Pixel 8 Pro, on the other hand, has a 50 megapixel main cam, a 48 megapixel 5x telephoto zoom, and a 48 megapixel ultra-wide camera. With this extra zoom lens, the S24 Ultra is the more versatile shooter overall. Image quality from both phones in daylight is great. Each phone has its own distinct character when it comes to color reproduction, tonal balance, and detail presentation. When it comes to zoomed photos though, the Galaxy has a sharper output in general. If you're out shooting at night, both phones will give you pleasing exposures and nice colors across all cameras. The Galaxy maintains an edge in sharpness and detail at all zoom levels though. The differences may not be huge, but the Ultra is just consistently better. Both phones can record video in up to 4K at 60 FPS with all of their cameras. The Galaxy also offers 8K capture and 4K slow-mo at 120 FPS. 4K video quality is generally great on both phones, though there are certain differences in rendition. The Pixel's output is a bit more expressive, with higher contrast and saturation, next to a slightly more laid-back Galaxy. There's no meaningful advantage in sharpness one way or the other. In low-light, the Galaxy's videos from the main cam have better exposure and dynamic range. It also has a bit of an edge in terms of detail. Selfies are also pretty nice on both phones, but the Pixel selfie camera has a different focal length, so it produces selfies with a wider field of view. And here's a look at selfie videos, captured with either phone. So there you have it guys, Samsung's top flagship versus the best Google has to offer. With the Pixel 8 Pro, you get a stock Android software experience, great camera quality with a specific Pixel look, and wide selfies. And last but definitely not least, a lower price. But for a lot of things, the Galaxy S24 Ultra has an advantage. There's tougher build materials and a less reflective display. The S Pen produces unique functionality. The Galaxy has better battery life and faster charging. The chipset is vastly more powerful than the Pixels, and in general, the Ultra's camera performance has the edge too. So in the end, the Galaxy S24 Ultra comes out on top, but even though the Pixel 8 Pro is from last year, it's still solid, and worth considering if you want to save some cash. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.